That's what got Roy Jones disqualified against Montel Griffin in Atlantic City about 9 years ago. Total in round one, Larios 13 out of 56. He wound up landing more punches in the round than Vasquez. Vasquez was 12 out of 66. Larios averaged 107 punches per round in the second fight between these two fighters 3 years ago. So his punch output was limited in round one, but of course he was recovering from the knockdown. How's this for a quote from Freddie Roach? And we've seen him with so many great fighters, including, of course, Manny Pacquiao. Roach says of Israel Vasquez, "He's the greatest champion I've ever worked with. Nobody comes to the gym with a better attitude. Nobody works harder and more honestly. I've never known a nicer boxer." That's high praise.
Very high praise, especially from a trainer who trains so many different fighters and sees so many different personalities.
And who worked for the great Eddie Futch as his protege and therefore has a really broad vision of what matters in the sport. Vasquez has done well to the body in the last 30 seconds, but Larios just nailed him with a good straight jab. Larios is beginning to get his jab in order. Like that.
He's fighting a very smart fight, Larios, and he's not trying to allow Vasquez an opportunity to trade with him. He's moving around him to the left, using his big jab to keep him off balance so that Larios can't plant on none of those hard punches that he threw early.
Can Larios move like that for 12 rounds? Well, not many fighters could, but he has enormous stamina.
And I happen to believe he would be one to be favorite to be able to do that for 15 rounds.
You miss 15-round fights, Roy?
Yeah, I do.
What about the safety factor?
That's why I understand it and I don't complain about it, but I know a lot of these guys wouldn't be able to survive for 15 rounds in there against a real fighter. But for safety purposes, I think it's the best thing.
Round two has been a tactical round with Oscar Larios moving, rotating to his left, occasionally coming back to the right, landing his jab, looking to mix in other punches, and Israel Vasquez trying to find the close quarters that allowed him to do damage in round one.
And I think the knockdown worked in Larios' favor in round one because it made him box more and not try to sit there and go toe-to-toe with Israel.
And the right hand and left hook that Vasquez landed there showed you he's still a threat to do damage with his power.
He definitely is, but he's not getting as much of an opportunity to throw them because Larios is moving so much.
And now Larios sets up a good straight right hand. Round two comes to a close. Moments ago, referee Jay Nady gave instructions to Bernard Hopkins for the main event.
Belly button to the hip bone blow. That's a foul. I'd like to be able to see your belly button with your trunks, which I always could. Yeah. So I don't want your trunks up around here.
He wears. Maybe I could have one too. Say we both wear or have high waistbands, which is, when I say high, more than 2 inches. Like the waistband low or the waistband good. So where the names normally be at.
So long as I can see your belly button, or at least I know where it is.
What if you can't share his?
Well, what if you can't? I'll have the same conversation with him.
Good.
If he comes out when I can't see his belly button, I'm pulling his pants down, so I can see it.
Great.
Not all the way down, of course.
I know what you're saying.
Always a comedian. Always a comedian. I can't help myself.
No problem.
All right, you got any other questions?
Everything is.
I want to be able to see the belly button. Obey my commands. Defend yourself, and it's always a pleasure.
I'll be professional. I know you will be.
Thanks. Good luck.
Thank you, Commissioners. Thank you.
Who's giving instructions to whom? Now, here's an understatement. Bernard Hopkins is a better talker than a listener. Jay Nady knew that. Interestingly, and Roy Jones, we need a comment from you on this. Jay Nady refereed the first Hopkins-Taylor fight. Come back to a dramatic and significant rematch 4 months later, and you have the same referee. Quite unusual.
Quite unusual, but I think both guys probably feel as though Jay Nady is the best referee for this fight. Taylor probably because he feels like Jay Nady is not going to let Bernard get out of hand. Bernard because he wants to prove that I'm not going to cry if y'all just give me what I had last time. So he has a lot of making up to do, and Taylor feels safer.
Nady was the referee for your fight with John Ruiz because clearly the Nevada State Athletic Commission did not want that fight to be marred by holding and clinching. I see him as the enforcer referee here.
I do too, and that's why I think Taylor is comfortable with him, but because Hopkins is trying to win over fans, he has to be comfortable with it.
Same referee, 3 different judges, however, than was the case the first time around.
According to Mark Ratner, the head of the Nevada Commission, he hasn't appointed a referee for a rematch, the same referee for at least a decade. He thinks it might have happened with Bowen Holyfield. He didn't remember. He said it was rare but not unusual, or unusual but not rare.
Round 3 continues between Oscar Larios in the red trunks and Israel Vasquez in the blue. They are fighting for supremacy in the 122-pound weight class. Larios has been the more recognized of the 2 fighters over the course of the past 3 years, largely because in their second fight 3 years ago, he knocked Vasquez out in the 12th round.
That first round knockdown has changed the profile of this fight. Instead of standing toe-to-toe, we're seeing Larios doing more boxing.
And as Roy Jones said, and I totally agree, it's helped him. It's made him fight a smarter fight.
Much smarter fight. He won't throw as many punches because he's using his legs more, and he's not in range as much. But it's better for him to not be in range because he's not the stronger fighter here.
Wonder why he would have come in at 120 and a half. Pound and a half under the limit. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
Vasquez gets Larios to the ropes, nails him one time, but Larios fires a counter and is able to come back off of the ropes. And now there's blood over the left eye of Oscar Larios, and a big cut. Very big cut. They confused the 10-second marker for the end of the round. There's still 8 seconds remaining in the round, as you can see. Dr. William Berliner now looking at the left eye of Oscar Larios, and that's a big enough cut to significantly affect the fight. In fact, this fight is over.
Now,
and I'm not sure what caused the cut.
Well,
but it looks as though it must have been a punch, because Larios is lifting Vasquez into the victor position.
I'm a little surprised by that stoppage. It must have been a very bad gash, which we really couldn't see, because normally they would give the corner a chance to see whether they could patch it up or not.
Oh, I saw it, Larry. It's horrible. It's a very, look at that. It is all the way across under the eyebrow, and you can see how deep it is. Roy, it had been hard for him to fight with that.
Yes, it would have. That's why the doctor immediately stopped the fight, because he knew there was no way he was going to let Larios continue with a cut of that stature on his face.
Particularly against a power puncher like Vasquez, a guy who could do some damage there. So the stoppage comes instantly in the 3rd round. It is ruled that the cut was caused by a punch, and Israel Vasquez, for the 2nd time in his career, has upended Oscar Larios to assume the top spot now in the 122-pound weight class.
Wouldn't be the biggest shock of my life if they had to fight each other again.
Wouldn't be the biggest shock of their lives either. So only the 4th loss of Oscar Larios' career, 56 wins, 4 losses, and a draw. 39th win for Vasquez against only 3 losses.
Again, for those of you out there who have seen this scenario in the past and a fight be ruled as a no contest, the reason that it is a TKO is because the cut was caused by a punch, not by a headbutt.
And that kind of cut is so routinely caused by a headbutt that you're almost shocked to see that it's caused by a punch. Normally, it has to be a headbutt to create that deep a division above the eye. But in this case, there was absolutely no equivocation about the fact that it came from a punch. Oh, that's a mess. Let's go to Michael Buffer for the official particulars on the TKO victory for Vasquez.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. Referee Tony Weeks, acting on the advice of the physicians at ringside, calls a halt to this contest because of a severe laceration suffered by Oscar Larios. The cut was caused by a punch. This contest ends in a TKO victory for the now IBF and WBC Super Bantamweight Champion of the world, Israel El Magnifico Vasquez.
Let's look at some replays and see if we can find a right-hand punch here. I don't think it could have been caused by a left-hand punch. At least it would seem highly unusual.
Well, it's tough. There go a right hand, right hook that could have definitely caused it, followed by another right hand. So that definitely could have caused the cut. However, I don't see any bleeding yet. But those two punches could have easily, there it is, had to be those two punches because now he's wiping blood.
Yeah, I believe it was the second of the two punches. The nature of the angle at which he threw that second punch would suggest that that could have been the rip.
First, that one right there would be the rip because the inside of the glove got a hold to his eye. I guarantee that came from the inside of the thumb of his glove.
Just like Lennox Lewis against Vitaly Klitschko in Los Angeles 2.5 years ago.
I guarantee you that's what caused the cut, the inside of the glove.
It was exactly what happened between Lewis and Klitschko. It was a different kind of angle as Lewis's glove slid by the side of Klitschko's face, but it's the lace on the inside of the glove and the seam at the side of the glove which can cause that kind of a cut.
And it definitely was unintentional.
Oscar Larios, 35 out of 154, landing at 23%. Vasquez was landing at a lower rate, but found enough power punching opportunities to both knock Larios down in the first round and cut him in the third round and get a TKO victory. And Larry Merchant stands by with Israel Vasquez.
All right, congratulations, Israel. Did the memory of your first fight, when you won by a one-round knockout, make you want to attack him in this fight and carry the fight to him?
La memoria de tu primera pelea cuando lo noqueaste en el primer round te forzó a que lo fuera más agresivo para noquearlo otra vez.
Sí, yo pienso que sí. Yo dije que iba a cambiar el estilo de pelea para esta ocasión. Lo hice, yo pienso que hice un buen trabajo para poder noquearlo.
Yeah, I think it did. It helped me a lot. It motivated me. I knew that I would change my style and jump on him right away, and it did.
It turned into a boxing contest after that. Were you shocked at how suddenly the fight ended?
Después de que lo tumbaste, la pelea se convirtió en un contest de boxear, ¿sabes? Estilista. ¿Te sorprendió de tan rápido que se terminó la pelea?
Sí, algo. Yo pensé que Oscar es un peleador muy duro. Pensé que él se iba a levantar a querer ir con todo. Así lo hizo, pero pude conectar los mejores golpes.
Yeah, it surprised me, but Oscar Larios is a good champion. He got up and he continued fighting, and we came out.
Thank you very much. Congratulations.
¡Viva el rey! ¡Viva el rey, cabrón! Bueno, felicidades. Yo te felicito, cabrón, y échale.
Oscar, were you stunned in the first round like you were in your first fight with him?
Estabas atundido en el primer golpe que te dio, de como lo tuviste en la primera pelea que hicieron. Estaba golpeado.
La verdad, en el primer round sí me sorprendió, sí me tumbó bien, de golpes y todo. Es un buen fuerte peleador y pues así es esto.
Yeah, absolutely. With this knockdown, he did hurt me. I was hurt, but I recovered.
All right, you were boxing him well, and then you got cut over your eye by a left hand, or a right hand. Did you feel that this was a terrible cut? You took it. You took the fact that the fight was stopped very well.
Después que lo tumbaste, te levantaste, estabas boxeando bien y un golpe, un derechazo. ¿Sentiste tú que era un golpe, una herida suficiente grande para que pararan la pelea?
No, pues la verdad no me la he visto, pero ni modo, así es esto. Entonces el doctor por eso me revisa, están los pies, están todos. Y pues hay que reconocer cuando gana uno y cuando le toca uno perder. Y pues hay que seguir adelante. Me gustaría una revancha con él, porque la verdad yo creo que sería una buena pelea. No sé.
I haven't seen the cut, so I don't know really what went on, but the doctors determined that it would be stopped. I would love to have a rematch, and we hope that comes about soon.
Thank you very much, Oscar.
Me permiten mandar un saludo para todos los que me están viendo allá para Chicago, para mis familiares de Chicago, para Guadalajara, para Colima,
Greetings to all those people.
Para mi hija, ni modo, no se pudo, hija.
All right, Bob, this was not the night of the iguana.